Unfortunately, the pedestrian did receive fatal injuries. An area is currently blocked off for the investigation. Stay with City News 680 for more on this developing story.
Well, this first day of summer certainly is coming in hot with a heat warning in effect for not only the city of Toronto, but the entire GTA. Colonel Hansky is on the waterfront trying to stay cool and getting some of your reactions. Summer has arrived in the city and here on Queen's Quay with a very hot high five. Bring it. Bring it.
And the traffic took such a nice change from the winter.
It's too much. It's the humidity that's too much. Because while the guaranteed high today is 33 degrees, it will feel near 41 with the humidity.
Oh my gosh. Really? 41? Oh, that's going to be horrible. Thank God that I have a lake right here, and I have air conditioning in my apartment. I'm so happy.
This high temperature Tuesday will be followed by a wickedly warm Wednesday. Thursday, though, should be a bit cooler. On Queen's Quay, Carl Hansky, City News.
City News time 11:04 as some airports continue to see long lines and delays. The federal transport minister is calling a meeting to address the backlog. Our Parliament Hill reporter Cormac McSweeney has more.
As passengers still face frustrating delays while trying to board a flight, Transport Minister Omar Al-Gabra says he'll be meeting with the 4 largest airports as well as WestJet and Air Canada to try and better address these delays.
Airlines have a duty as well. We're hearing some stories of luggage issues and flight canceling. So cancellations, we want to make sure that the airlines as well do their part. I know they're working very hard, but we want to make sure they do their part. The airports also have to do their part. So
when asked what leverage he has to push airports and airlines to address their staffing issues, Al-Gabra knows there is now an air passenger bill of rights that requires airlines to provide a certain level of service. He says the federal government is trying to do its part by hiring 900 screeners, many of them now on the job, and there are more CASA agents now than there were pre-pandemic. Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill. Well, another court appearance is scheduled today for the man accused of setting a woman on fire on board a TTC bus at Kipling Station. 33-year-old Tenzin Norbu is facing several charges, including attempted murder, after he allegedly poured a flammable liquid on a woman and then set her on fire. Police have described it as a hate-motivated attack. The victim's brother-in-law says she remains in hospital in critical condition. The suspect did make a virtual court appearance yesterday from the Toronto South Detention Center. Now a decision on whether or not he'll be granted bail is going to happen at some point today.
City News time 11:05. Happening now in Texas, officials are holding a special committee on the Uvalde school shooting. Public Safety Director Steve Lacrosse and officers' response to the shooting was an abject failure.
20 minutes after the subject entered the West Building, there was a sufficient number of armed officers wearing body armor to isolate, distract, and neutralize the subject. The only thing stopping the hallway of dedicated officers from entering room 111 and 112 was the on-scene commander. He decided to break the lives of officers for the lives of children.
Lacrosse says police response ignored everything law enforcement has learned over the past 2 decades since the Columbine massacre.
We are expecting more testimony will be heard today at the 4th public hearing regarding the January 6th riots at the U.S. Capitol.
The committee will hear from Georgia's Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, who faced pressure from former President Trump after the 2020 election to find Trump votes in order to flip the state away from Joe Biden. Raffensperger's deputy, Gabe Sterling, will also appear before the committee. Arizona's Republican House Speaker Rusty Bowers will also testify. Bowers says calls from former President Trump's advisors to help overturn Arizona's election results were unsupported, unwise, and a, quote, juvenile effort. Mark Emillard, ABC News.
A Russian official has issued an ominous warning about 2 Americans captured in Ukraine. ABC's James Longman says Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov is vowing the 2 men will be held responsible for crimes they have committed.
The Kremlin spokesman speaking out on the 2 captured American veterans who volunteered to fight alongside the Ukrainians. Andy Quinn and Alex Druki are being held by Russian-backed separatists in Donetsk. In an interview with NBC, Peskov claimed the 2 are mercenaries and not subject to laws of the Geneva Convention.
The 2 are believed to be the first Americans fighting for Ukraine.